Well, as you can see, maybe, if you can see out the windows, we're still in Reno.
Yes, we are.
We didn't leave, and this is because we got kicked out of the museum yesterday.
But not for bad behavior.
But not for bad behavior. We just overstayed our welcome. Well, we stayed past closing. We got the bum's rush.
Yes, we did.
Right in front of the Tucker.
Right in front of the Tucker.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like 51 ever made and 48 are alive, and that was one of them.
And then, okay, yes, I probably shouldn't have been setting up a prayer rug and getting ready to pray to the Tucker. But, you know, it was a Tucker, for crying out loud. And never seen one in the flesh before. And,
well, I've seen one other, the Peterson, but, you know, it was before I realized the importance of a Tucker.
Yeah.
Until I read up on them, I'm going, oh my goodness.
They're so cool.
They're very rare.
They're very rare, and they're just very cool. Anyway, we missed all of Gallery 4. We missed the Thomas Flyer. We just missed so much, so we came back today. So here's some more of the National Automotive Museum here in Reno. Now, 2 weeks ago, we were looking at the real early iron. Very cool. This week, we're going to look at some of the later cars. This is the restoration shop. Notice the Demaxian car being restored at the back of the shop here. Wow. But the shops are really cool. This is just kind of a display area in the shops, and they've got some really cool old tools set up. They have lots of just cool displays around, and they have cars of famous people. This is Al Jolson's 33 Cadillac. That's cool. Al Jolson was a pretty big deal in his day. This is Lana Turner's 31 Chrysler. Check it out. And this was Frank Sinatra's Ghia. This white caddy belonged to some rock musician. I forget the name. Now, James Dean didn't actually own this 39 Merc, but he drove it in Rebel Without a Cause. How cool is that? Most of the collection does consist of the remaining cars of the Bill Harrah collection, but some of these cars have been added to the collection since it was taken over. But these cars, like this 25 Franklin, all came from Bill Harrah. Bill Harrah did have quite a few 20s era cars here. Check them out. This is a 27 Rolls-Royce, one of several Rolls-Royces remaining in the collection. This is a 25 Duesenberg. The 1920s were rich with a lot of handmade, really beautiful cars. This is a 1925 Julian with suicide doors and a split bench seat. It's split into 3 sections. This is a 25 Ford TT fire truck. The car on the right is a 1926 Stanley limo. Stanley was best known for their steam cars. This is a Morgan, the British Moog, a 3-wheeled sports car, real cool. As the Model T had become obsolete, in 29 Ford released the Model A, and in 32 they put a V8 engine in it, the 32 Ford or Deuce Coupe. This is a 33 Franklin. And this is a Cord by Auburn from 1937. This was made the same year. It's the Hispano Suiza. This is a 31 Bugatti. Harrah loved the Bugatti, and in fact he had 2, count them 2, Bugatti Royales. The 30s gave way to the 40s. Not a lot of cars were built in the 40s because of the war. This is a 47 Kaiser. The 40s did see the release of one of the most famous cars ever, the Volkswagen Beetle. The 40s gave way to another golden age of the automobile, the 50s. This is a Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing. People didn't like them in their era. They were really hard to get in and out of. Today, they are, let's just say, highly sought after. Now here's an infamously failed car, the Ford Edsel. Harrah, however, really loved the Edsel. He had a whole building full of Edsels in every known configuration and color. Now here's probably the most infamous failed car ever manufactured, the Tucker 48. Only 51 of these cars were ever built. There's a great movie on why only 51 of these cars were ever built. If you haven't seen it, oh, you really must check it out. Now, you might think that Bill Harrah would have an incredible collection of 60s muscle cars, but he doesn't. By the 1960 muscle car movement, well, he already had 1,400 cars, and he really had sort of stopped collecting. Unless it was a famous race car like this Superbird, he just really wasn't interested in it. After all, it was garden variety. They were all over the street. So he did buy race cars in the 1960s, but really no muscle cars to speak of. Well, whatever. Here's the coolest part of the entire museum, at least in Karen and my humble opinion, the Ed Roth department. This is the Beatnik Bandit, one of his most famous builds, built entirely out of fiberglass, of course, with a bubble top built in a pizza oven. Ed Roth was one of the great custom builders of the 1960s. Ed's cars are just flat fun. These are whimsical little gadgets that he built after he moved to Manti. A wheelbarrow and a wagon with chrome-plated lawnmower engines running them. He also built this strange contraption. It's called the Finkmobile. Kind of a fun little thing. These were some of the last cars that he built before his death. If you haven't seen the various shows on the channel about Ed Roth, do go over and check those out. They're a lot of fun. Well, that was cool.
Oh, yes.
That is really cool. The National Car Museum in Reno, Nevada.
Hate to leave, but
Previously,
it's been wonderful.
we had the Harrah collection. So we're on the freeway. We're heading back east,
Right.
which is one of those things that we do. Well, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, click on the little blue button that'll be popping in right here. That will subscribe you. Piece of cake, painless, all the way around. Simple. Or you can go to the channel with the little rocket ship, or you can go to toymantelevision.com.
Right.
All those fun things, or simple thing, blue button right here,
Right.
subscribe.
Easy.
Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we'll see you here again in 1 week with some more significant screwing around. See you then. Bye.
Bye.